Okay, we will.
Hey, it's a technical difficulty. So let me close this door.
All right, we're ready to rock, gentlemen. Perfect. Welcome back to the Chuck and Schup show. I'm your host, Schup, back with another kick-ass episode.
Yes.
Chuck, it's here. It's I know we've been saying that like every week since August started, but it's here. Football is back.
It's right in front of us too. I can smell it. It's right there.
I don't know about you because I know. So for context, Chuck's in New Jersey. I'm out in DC, and this morning it was like the tiniest hint of like fall weather. Like it was not that hot. It was a little windy, but it was sunny out, and I'm just like, that just feels like September to me. So it's just the chills are going down my spine, man.
Little light breeze going down your spine. Yeah, that's when you know you got that feeling.
You know what else gives me a good feeling?
Yes.
Dubs and L's. Let's kick things off. Dubs and L's this week, and I'm going to start things off with my W.
Let's do it.
Having a long career in the NFL is literally impossible. I mean, like, how many guys even make it to their second contract? Then you got guys like Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham was once a very elite tight end, but he suffered one of the worst injuries that you could possibly suffer as an athlete, a torn patella tendon in his right knee. He managed to come back for that, have a couple good years of reserve, Packers, Bears, but then he goes, after being a year off in the NFL, he goes back to the Saints where it all started. And to top it all off, he got some preseason action and he made two very nice plays. One, a very difficult catch in open field, and another one where he just completely boxes out a defender that's like a full foot shorter than him and just embarrasses him.
Mm-hmm.
And
all day.
I mentioned the craziest part of it all, the fact that he had like a seizure like the week before, and then he turned out to be okay, and then he goes and dominates. Look, I'm not expecting elite level production again, but it's just really awesome to see. Chuck, what makes players like that have these long types of careers like Graham's having?
I think it's got to be the physicality, which actually how big he is. It's actually impressive how long he's stayed in the NFL with all the hits he's taking. He's been double covered and he's been covered every way, which way possible, just bodied every time. And he blocks, and he's so efficient in blocking too. Like, how do you have that good career, like that longevity? It's got to be whatever he's drinking, or he's on steroids, or he's just working his ass off, eating the right things, and he's just always perfecting his craft and probably always doing football type workouts. And I would say probably the food, just like Brady, probably eats way healthier. But like, the guy's a beast. Like, I can't see him doing anything else but catching touchdown passes over the middle.
Yeah, helps when you're 6'7".
Exactly. And you know what I wanted to see when he caught that touchdown pass? I thought he was going to dunk it on the goalpost like
he did the fake dunk. He got us.
Yeah, I thought he was going to let it rip and take the fine, but honestly, probably not making a lot of money, so he can't afford that.
That would have been a throwback for sure. I would have been really excited to see that.
Yes.
Maybe in regular season. But for now, let's get to your dub.
Okay, my dub. Even though it's football season, I'm going to touch up on other sports. So the U.S. Open's this weekend. I'm very excited. I'm actually going to go to it either Sunday or Monday. I forgot who's playing. Monday's the round of 16. No. Yeah, Monday I think is the round of 16. I think it ends on Wednesday's a championship. But I'm super excited this weekend because even though there's no pro football going on Sunday, there's a couple of college games that we'll touch on. But if you want, clip on a little tennis, throw some money on some guys. It's fun to watch. I love it. So U.S. Open this weekend, huge dub for the start of September.
Chuck, I've actually started playing a whole lot more tennis this summer. And what I noticed is I'm not much of a back of the court player, but if you get me in a doubles game, I would try to like smash the ball. It's pretty fun, and I actually scared the shit out of some of my opponents. So I think I found my advantage.
I'm glad you said that because I'm glad you're playing real tennis and not fake tennis, fucking pickleball. Which that's actually my L. My L is pickleball. So like I'm about to go off king right now. Like if you pickleball, you're just unathletic and you can't play tennis. You're just like, I get it. If you're 40 years old, getting a game in with your wife or whatever, you're at the gym or what have you, you got some buddies, play pickleball. But like if you're like in your 20s, 30s, like dude, stop playing that stupid game. Like go play real tennis, go play basketball, go fucking play touch football or some other sport. Don't be playing that fake ass shit. I hate that game. Not a fan.
So to be honest, I've never actually played for a reason because it just never looked that appealing to me. So I can't fully comment on how difficult it is. I don't want to hear people going, "Man, you never play it. You don't know what it's like." Blah blah.
True.
They play
I
this
never
game.
played either, but I've refused to.
They play this game in retirement homes, Chuck. This isn't
Exactly.
like especially us, prime of our lives. Could play any sport in the world. Hey, I play flag football.
Dude, you're a dog. That's what dogs do.
Dogs play football. The cats play pickleball.
Exactly. You can go meow over there. We're gonna play football.
But you know what? What's more embarrassing than pickleball?
What's that?
Certain Team USA athlete absolutely embarrassed himself this week. I'm sure
Oh,
you
dude,
know what
yeah.
I'm talking about. So like it's not like one of those situations where a guy makes a statement to try to get some attention because maybe it'll make him more recognized for whatever reason. Noah Lyles legitimately was serious when he said, "Why is it that the NBA gets to call themselves world champions, but isn't only United States?" So let's dissect this. The NBA has teams in two countries, Canada and United States. The NBA has tons of players from all across the country. I mean,
Mhm.
all across the world, not
Yeah.
just the country. And where do the best players in the world go to play? Are they going to go play in Slovenia League, Turkish League, Russian League? They're coming to the NBA. So,
Yep.
and look who just won the NBA Finals. Who was the
Jokic.
Finals MVP?
Yeah.
A not American. So I don't know. It's the fact that this guy is supposed to be an American hero per se because he's fighting, like not fighting for our country, but
Yeah. No, I
he's
know what you're saying.
he's competing for our country,
Yeah.
and we're supposed to be completely behind him. We should have no reason to hate this guy. But you say ignorant stuff like that and piss off fellow Americans, especially
Hmm.
fellow American athletes.
Yeah.
That is L of the month for August.
100%. And I don't even know who that guy is. I don't know who he is. And I think 75% of Americans don't even know who that guy is. And I want to say when I first heard it, I was like, this guy's trolling. Like he's not being serious. Like he's definitely trolling to get recognition. But after you watch it a couple times, that guy's dead ass serious. And I don't think I think everybody responded the way everybody should have responded, especially like Damian Lillard, all those guys on the that played in the US team. And the guy's a fucking idiot. The US team wins the gold medal all the time in the FIBA or the Olympic basketball championships. We had to back then, it was only guys out of college competing in the FIBA or the Olympic basketball tournaments, and we couldn't even have our own professionals play. And then when we did with the dream team, and then our two past decades, wipe the floor. And there's Europeans that don't even want to play in those tournaments now because they know they get their ass kicked. So that did get me heated when I fucking saw that.
Yeah, it really says a lot when everyone comes out against you, and it's like, what the hell is wrong? But I
Mhm.
think best case scenario in this case that we just never hear from Noah Lyles again. I don't even
Exactly.
know who wins the gold, to be
I don't know
honest.
who that is.
So forget about it. We got our stuff to talk about. Mainly
Exactly.
football. I hope you guys weren't expecting other sports coverage because too bad you're gonna be hearing about this until January and
Hmm.
February, and
Yes, sir.
probably you'll hear it in March too. But we gotta cover the junior boys first, the college football boys.
Yes.
School already started. It started last weekend. There weren't any notable games though. The Notre Dame did play. Your boy Sam Hartman went off.
Bald.
He absolutely.
Covered. Notre Dame covered.
Mhm. But now we got college football week one, filled with tons of matchups of FBS versus FCS opponents, like Rutgers versus Northwestern. But for the most part, we have a couple of intriguing games that we can look at. And I want to go through and pick three games. And then I want to
Okay.
give you a lock and upset in our first Chuck and Shoot pick 'em of the season. So let's start off with the big one. Yes, the one we've all been waiting for. The game from down south, two down south powerhouses. Yes, I'm talking about North Carolina versus South Carolina, the state's battle.
Mm.
This is a 2.5-point spread. South Carolina is not ranked, but they have Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
Drake May, the next
Drake May.
North Carolina quarterback, the
Yeah.
potential being in the NFL. He's got a lot of hype around him. Could be potential second-round pick. Rattler's getting buzz. He's getting Heisman buzz. So this is a very important game for both these teams. But who do you have winning?
So I got go Gamecocks. Like right off the bat, Gamecocks. Give me the Cocks. Cocks all day. I think Spencer Rattler has something to prove. And honestly, the guy is fucking prolific. Like I honestly think not just as good as Caleb Williams, but I think they're pretty similar. I think they have pretty similar game. Rattler's just a cocky fuck, and I think he's the type of guy that doesn't want to do little things. But hopefully this offseason he did the little things, because we haven't really heard any buzz or like anything with South Carolina. So I'm expecting them to be at home, fired up, fucking score 50, not 50 points, but 40 points against the North Carolina defense that's historically bad. So I'm excited for this game. Give me the Gamecocks money line. Got the Gamecocks.
Give me the Gamecocks too. I think this spread is an overreaction to the hype that Drake May is getting.
100%.
Like you said, on the other side, that defense is really, really bad. That's the reason why they could have been like an ACC title contender with the offense they had if they played a stinge of defense, but they just did not show up on that side of the ball. And in-state rivalry, I think South Carolina's got a lot to prove.
Yeah.
I think with Rattler at the helm, and the skill players getting more experience, I can see them trying to compete in an SEC that, besides Georgia, looks a little bit uncertain.
I also like they beat Tennessee. Who did they beat? Someone. They came off a win in their bowl game, so I think they're carrying that into this season, and I think they're just going to explode this Saturday. I think they might win by 10.
So that's a good game. But what I was hinting at before was the actual big game of two teams down south this weekend. That is LSU versus Florida State. This is a top 10 matchup. Really great game for them to pick. And if you remember last year's LSU Florida State featured a botched extra point. Yeah, LSU botches the extra point. And now, 1 year later, the rankings for these teams are totally different. Neither of these teams were close to the top 10 when this matchup happened last year. But you got a lot of big-time NFL talent on both sides of the ball. The two teams trying to prove themselves early, get themselves a huge leg up in the college football playoff race, which is 4 teams for the last time ever this year. So who you got this game?
I got LSU all the way. They have to start out. They got to start out good out the gate, because I have them going to the the college football playoff as the number 2 seed. They got to win this game. It's a great test right out the gate. I think Coach Kelly, he's got his guys all under control. Even though last season was kind of rocky in the beginning, and there were a lot of question marks with that fucking $100 million deal or wherever he signed. How much it was, but it was a fuck ton of money. So I'm hoping he's got the same quarterback again, Jalen Daniels, or if I said his name wrong, Jaden Daniels. So I'm looking for him to go off, run all over Florida State. I think Florida State's pass rush is very good, but I think LSU's O-line is just better. So I got LSU.
So I guess if you're going to pick LSU because you have them in your playoff, then considering I have Florida State in my playoff, I guess that makes my pick pretty obvious here. But I'm going to go with Florida State regardless. I'm really excited to see what this offense can do for another year of Jordan Travis. And they're very good at receiver as well. Yes, great pass rush. I think they're good in the secondary too. I mean, both these teams are absolutely loaded. But I think LSU, I think there's more of a chance that LSU looks past their opponent in this case because of all the competition in SEC. They might be feeling themselves and they might be thinking Georgia. I think Florida State Florida State's trying to get back into relevancy. They'll take any big win they can get. So that's my feeling on it. But I'm hoping for a good defensive battle. We don't get
Yeah,
many of those in college.
I'll take a good game any day.
Yep. And hard to find a third good game this week, but Fresno
Yeah.
State versus Purdue is an intriguing one. Fresno State is one of the top-rated non-Power 5 schools this year, taking on Purdue. Purdue is only a small favorite, but who are you signing with in this one?
I saw that Purdue is no, Fresno State was like plus I think 126 or something.
They're a field goal underdog.
And I know Purdue lost their quarterback, who's now on the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at it, and it's pretty tough. I think I'm just gonna go with the underdog here, Fresno State. I always see like there's always one game where FCS type team. I'm making fun of these teams. They're not FCS, but I'd call them FCS type teams.
They're basically the same thing.
Yeah. So we're due for one of those this weekend. Why not Fresno State at Purdue? So I'm going to go with Fresno State.
I'm going to go with Fresno State as well. And let me tell you why. If Purdue is playing a top 10 ranked team and it's a night game and it's at Purdue and they got the dark jerseys on, you already know it's a guaranteed lock Purdue is winning.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a opponent that they should beat, that they're going to lose. It's just the Purdue way. And I think Fresno State is starting to build a program there. They would be an interesting candidate to see if they move to a big conference eventually.
Yeah.
And a win like this would certainly help their credentials. So
Pac-12.
Yep, Pac-12 is going to be looking like the Harlem Globetrotters if they were in the NBA.
Yeah.
And they weren't allowed to cheat.
And fucking put Hawaii in there.
Yeah, Hawaii, baby. Best island in America. Anyway, now let's go to our lock and our upset. So give me your best spread of the week and then follow it up with a team that you think is going to outright upset.
Okay. So lock. I saw this. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I feel like it's free money. Clemson minus 12.5 against Duke. I don't know why. I mean, Clemson's I think they're very underrated right now. They have one of the best linebacking cores in the country. I don't know why they're only 12-point favorites, but I think they're gonna fucking murder Duke. And I don't think Duke's gonna score 1 point. So give me Clemson minus 12.5.
Yeah, shout out Danny Dimes, Duke football. I got my lock. Again, it's a weird slate. I didn't want to
Really
go
weird.
some FCS. So I'll go with San Jose State versus Oregon State. San Jose State is at home, 16.5-point underdog. And I think they're an upset candidate, but I'm not going to go all the way. Just going to pick the spread.
I like it.
My reasoning for this is they just played USC on the road, and they hung 28 points on them. They got to be going into this game against an inferior Pac-12 opponent at home and, have a little more confidence in them. Whereas Oregon State is thinking about in-conference play. Hell, they're even thinking, like, where the hell are we going next year? Their mind's probably all over the place. I like San Jose State to keep this game closer than the public expects.
I love it.
Upset.
I'm going with I had two in mind. The first one was I was gonna go with Hawaii over Stanford. Hawaii's at home. They're like plus 136 against Stanford. But I don't know if that's really an upset. Stanford's kind of fucking cheeks too.
Yep.
So I didn't think that was really an upset. So I'm gonna go with fucking Boise State over Washington.
Ooh.
At plus 460 at Washington, which is a tough place to play at, but they're in the same hemisphere. So, or in the same area. So
the stratosphere.
Yeah, stratosphere. I can smell Boise just maybe laying it to them.
Yeah, like I said with Purdue, you got to catch Boise State went around that crisp blue field. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see that field again, but we won't get to this weekend. So I don't know if they'll hit that upset, but is it any more likely than my upset? Colorado at TCU. You got to think with what Deion Sanders is building here and what he's trying to prove for all the new recruits he's got, all the injection of talent, and the fact that TCU lost pretty much all the key pieces of that playoff final team that obviously got ran through.
Yeah.
And getting ran through, even if it is against Georgia, it doesn't do well for confidence, especially with a young team. Colorado is going to go into TCU and win. I just don't think this. I think this TCU team is being overhyped by good memories. And everyone's used to Colorado not playing well. They're going to surprise some people, or not if they're paying attention.
I like it. I like it a lot because I actually have two leans: Colorado plus 20.5, and then Ohio State's playing Indiana. They're gonna kill them. It's gonna be like another 40-point game. So Ohio State minus 29.5.
Yes. I just hope so. I really hope so.
Yeah.
Let's go to the NFL. So we've done a lot of previewing for the upcoming season. We previously talked about our best bets for the upcoming year. We also talked about our award predictions. And we kind of went over teams that we like this year, but we never actually put together a real playoff picture. So what we're going to do is I'm going to run down my AFC playoff picture before the Super Bowl, and then you do yours, and then NFC, and then we'll go over our Super Bowl picks.
Beautiful.
So give me your bracket. Start with the number 1 seed, and then the matchups from there, and who you have winning at each.
AFC?
Yes.
Okay. So you know my Super Bowl prediction, but so I got Chiefs at 1. Coming in number 2. 2 is going to be the Jags. The Bills win their division. They're going to be the 3 seeds. The Ravens win their division. They're going to be the 4 seed. Bengals slip in at 5. Jets at 6. Dolphins at 7. So, and how it's going to go, wild card round, Jags beat the Dolphins. Then I have the Jets beating the Bills at home, at the Bills. And then I have the Ravens sneak out a win versus the Bengals. They're going to be so the Ravens are going to be home. So that's why I have that edge. So the Ravens beat the Bengals at home. We go to the divisional. Chiefs destroy the Jets. I think like they win by 14 at their place. Jags win at home versus the Ravens. Very gritty game, defensive. I think Ravens get on top, and then Jags come from behind, win like they did against the Chargers. And then we go to the conference championship. Chiefs versus Jags. I got Chiefs. Buck Kurt, last second field goal, 54 yards.
Oh, the scenes if that happens again. So you and me have pretty similar breakdowns of our playoff teams. I threw one surprise in there because I always think there is some surprise. But I'll start off with the Chiefs, and as spoiled before, number 2 is the Bengals. But I do find it interesting that you have the AFC North winner as a 4 seed, assuming they might probably just beat each other up. It could very well happen.
Let's see.
Number 3, I got the New York Jets. Number 4, I have the Jaguars. I think that their defense is just poor, and it's going to cost them some games this year. Even though I think the offense is going to be dynamic, there will be O-line problems though, so we'll have to watch out for that. But they'll win the Ravens. I have them at 5, very close to the Bengals. And 6, I have the Bills, and number 7, I have the Steelers. I like the Steelers because there's always teams that don't make the playoffs the previous year and make it this year, make it this next year. And I feel like out of any of these teams, because it's such a stacked conference, I feel like the Dolphins are the most fragile team. They're 1 injury away from that core 3 players, Tua, Tyreek, or Waddle. If one of them gets hurt, I feel like the whole team changes. And with Jalen Ramsey already hurt, it just adds more inherent risk to put them in my playoffs. So I left them out. Now going to playoffs, first round, wild card round. Bengals beat Steelers at home. Just lack of playoff experience on one QB versus the other.
Yep.
Then we got Bills at Jets, and I got the Bills beating the Jets because I just don't feel like the Jets' MetLife advantage is that much better.
Yeah.
And the Bills are going to be hungry, and they're going to want more, and it's probably going to be close for the division. So I got them pulling upset, if you want to call it that. And I also have the Ravens upsetting the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars not only do they have defensive problems, but they coast by in an easy division, and they don't get up for like a playoff foe. The Ravens, who had way more experience
Yeah.
playing more solid teams. But then they go down to the Chiefs in the next round because Andy Reid with extra time is unbeatable.
Yeah.
Got the Bengals beating the Bills again, causing Sean McDermott's coaching future to be in question. But I guess no fault of them, because I think the Bengals are a buzzsaw this year. And I haven't beaten the Chiefs. And avenging last year's AFC Championship game, the rivalry continues to grow. It's going to be a storybook rivalry, Burrow versus Mahomes. I really feel like it's setting up that way. So yeah, I got the Bengals as my AFC rep. So let's go to the NFC now. What's your bracket looking like, and go over your matchups?
Okay, so brackets looking like this. Number 1 seed, Eagles. 2, 49ers win their division. Vikings win the NFC North at the 3 spot. Falcons just win the NFC South at the 4 spot. 5 is going to be the Lions. Giants get in at 6. They have a gritty ass schedule, but I think they can win a lot of games if they just hold on to the football and just play fucking tough. And then the Cowboys, they squeak in at 7 just because of their star power, what they have on their roster. But their coaching, I don't think, is going to change a lick of what's going to happen with this team down the future. So when we go into the wild card round, 49ers kill the Cowboys. Right after the game, McCarthy gets fired on the field. And then that's going to be first time a coach got fired right after, like not even a minute after the game, like 60 seconds, like 35 seconds go after it hits 0. McCarthy, you're done, man. And the Giants go back to Minnesota, beat the Vikings, like easy money. Kirk Cousins just can't get it done. Giants just have better coaching, take care of business. Falcons beat the Lions at their place, 4 versus 5. We go to the divisional. Eagles I think they have the best team on offense in the NFC. Like what it has to do with their O-line and this quarterback play and everybody on the outside and how consistent they are and how healthy they stay. So I think the Eagles, like, they kill the Giants, but only by 9. But the Giants, like, it's still a building block, not a building block year, but building block dynasty that is with Dayball right now. Then the 49ers kill the Falcons, and then we have a 49ers-Eagles rematch in the conference championship. But the 49ers come out and just fucking remember what happened last year, and they just take it to the Eagles in the first half, and they don't look back and win by 16. And everybody in Philly is crying.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I love seeing Philly tears. But they probably won't have many tears. But I have them as my 2 seed. I think the NFC East is strong once again, so it'll be tough competition. They got that first place schedule as well. I have the 49ers as the 1 seed. I think the 49ers take slight advantage of having easier games within their division. And then at number 3, I have the Detroit Lions. The Lions are my NFC North winner. I've talked about how much I like them this year. It's not, people think of that elite offense, and the offensive line is amazing as well. But that defense started to play much better towards the end of the second half last year. Those young players continue to go upwards. It's going to be a tough team to beat. It's going to be tough to outscore them and try to hold down that pass rush and try to get through the quarterback against them. Number 4, I got the Atlanta Falcons. I love the defensive additions they made to this team. I don't expect a lot from Ritter, but I don't expect them to expect a lot from Ritter. And, he still got a very good number 1 receiver in Drake London, who I'm excited to watch this year. I think they'll squeak in as the 4th seed. I think the Saints have a lot more defensive problems, so the Falcons get that advantage. My wild card teams, I got the Seahawks at number 5. I think they're maybe the best team in the league to get blocked off by division winner, and that'd be the 49ers. I don't see any reason why Geno would slow down with all the weapons that they've added. Well, not the weapons they have, and the one that they did add, plus the continuation of that great offensive line. Number 6, I have the Cowboys. This team's going to win a bunch of games, and they're going to get to the playoffs, which I'll get to in a moment, and things are not going to go off from it. It happens all the time, but they are a great regular season team, so I can't leave them off. No. And I want to put the Giants on here, but I feel like the Giants have a lot of tough games, and there's still issues within the wide receiver core and the secondary that kind of make me want to put them out. And I like the Green Bay Packers as a sleeper team this year. I wasn't as high of them earlier in the offseason, but they're so athletic all over the field. The coaching is very good, and I think they're out to prove that they don't need Rodgers. As much as Rodgers is motivated to piss off his old
Yeah.
team, Packers want that back easily, the same as well. And when it comes to the Vikings, I think with all the losses they've had on both sides of the ball, all the free agents they've had to cut, I think there's a lot of weaknesses on that side, plus the fact that variance from last year with all the close wins they had could easily flip this year. So let's see, going into the playoffs. So you got the Eagles at home versus the Packers. I don't think this is a competitive game. I think their young roster is simply unable to compete with the experience the Eagles have. They win this game easily. Lions versus Cowboys. I actually have written here McCarthy canned a scapegoat this time, so we both think he's going to get fired. I don't know if right after the game, but
That'd be legendary.
the Lions are just better. They're just a better team.
Yeah.
They'll be able to protect their quarterback better than the Cowboys can. And then
100%.
this one's interesting. Falcons at Seahawks. As much as I like the Seahawks this year, I have the Falcons winning this game because it's a poor matchup. Assuming that the Seahawks stay lackluster on their run defense, which they really didn't make a ton of additions to. They added Bobby Wagner, but nothing to that defensive line. And Wagner is getting older anyway. I don't know if he's the solution at this point. So I got the Falcons winning that game. Call an upset, you will. But then they got to go play San Francisco the following week. I don't think that's going to be close. I think the 49ers just out-coach and out-talent this Falcons team. Then we got the Eagles versus the Lions, and the Eagles will probably be a big favorite, but I got the Lions winning this game. I think the Lions excel in two fronts, their vertical passing game and the use of running backs, and the Eagles, their personnel is built to get to the quarterback, but the Lions also have an excellent offensive line, and they're not built to stop the pass. They lost a couple players in that department this offseason. I think the Lions will take advantage of that. And I think this Eagles offense will show up, but I think the Lions defense will be just good enough. I'm really feeling this Lions team this year. And that is why I have them going all the way to the Super Bowl and beating the 49ers in a major upset, because the 49ers struggle in the same areas that the 49ers do, and that is defending the pass. They're weak at number 2 corner, and what's also great pass rush combated with Detroit's great offensive line. I'm going to go bold here, and I'm riding the Lions all the way to the Super Bowl.
Wow, I like it. That's ballsy.
Yeah, but NFC is wide open this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if either of those top 2 seeds just don't take the teams under them seriously. They probably think they're already there. Anyway, let's get Super Bowl picks real quick.
Here we go.
We got a few minutes left.
Here we go.
Your Super Bowl is the Chiefs versus the Niners.
Chiefs Niners. It's what we've wanted this matchup for the past 3 seasons, and we're finally going to get it again. It's going to be another great game where the Niners go up 10, but the Chiefs come storming back because of their experience, coaching, and Pat Mahomes is MVP. Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
That would be almost poetic if that happened with Purdy and Garoppolo. That would be, the 49er fans might as well just bury themselves in a hole at that point.
It sucks being a Niners fan. I'm not gonna lie. They've actually had a lot of heartbreak.
I don't feel bad. They have Super Bowls, so
yeah,
whatever.
5 to the Giants, 4 to the Chiefs 2.
Yeah. So this reminds me, this Super Bowl I have, the Bengals versus the Lions, reminds me a lot of a couple seasons ago where you had Bengals Rams, and this Bengals team came out of nowhere, made the Super Bowl, and they were the darlings, and they played a hell of a game, but the team that is just a bit more experienced came through in the end. I think that's what happens with the Bengals. The Lions play spirited. The whole world is on their side, but I think this team's on a mission. The fact that they're not making any drastic moves, that they're just keeping the same team when a team doesn't make moves, it's honestly the biggest move of all. Because what they're saying is, we believe in our guys. And we're going to keep riding with them. And I think that's the kind of confidence that makes me believe that this is the Bengals' year. And I have them winning the Super Bowl over the Lions.
Who's Super Bowl MVP, Burrow or Chase?
It's going to be Burrow. I think
Okay.
he needs a triumphant comeback drive, and there's no standout player on either side, so he gets it.
Okay. I like it. I like it. All right. I'm excited, dude. I'm fucking excited.
I'm so excited. Me and Chuck just drafted our fantasy teams. We play each other week 2, so make sure you'll watch out for that. Make sure you'll watch out for live in-game commentary coming this season. We'll let you know which games we are doing, but get ready for that. If you want to hang with the boys and watch some football, we're here.
I'm in. Yeah, just join our live. Hop right in. We'll talk. We'll yak it up. We'll not only talk about football, but any other topics or questions you guys have in the comments.
I mean, what are you gonna watch? The Mannings, bro.
No.
Just real quick. The Mannings overrated show. I mean, they're funny, but they don't talk about the game, and it's like annoying.
I think it's the guests. Some of the guests are very stale. But I think it depends on the guests and they feed off the energy. And then I'm not gonna lie, I do like it, but sometimes it is boring because the games sometimes suck.
They could make it better for sure.
Yeah.
I think the guest appearances could be better, but I guess they don't want people to watch for that. But whatever, you can watch ours, and you'll see if it's better.
Yeah, it'll be better.
Hell yeah! So I'm Schup.
I'm Chuck.
And thank you for tuning in once again. Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Schup Sports. Follow us on X. And next week, we will have week 1 breakdowns. So get excited.
I'm fucking pumped. Clemson minus 12.5. Let's get it.
Yes, please. See you guys. Peace.